All right, thank you, Katie. Thank you, Representative Salmon, you're a hero. Thank you to all you freedom-loving Iowans who are still here enjoying this beautiful day. Yeah, it's great to be with you. I got a little angry because I spoke here, what was that, 2 hours ago. Then we went and had this committee meeting, and then apparently I'm a risk to the public health, and my opinions are going to put a lot of children and babies to death. And I want to clarify that's not actually my position. So I think that is quite a bit of misrepresentation by the Democrats, what I'm attempting to say up here. But, you know, talking to you guys, it's easy to get carried away because you guys are very intelligent. You know, we talk about liberty, we talk about the Constitution, you know what that means. When we talk about a vaccine schedule or an adjuvant or the adverse reporting system, you guys know what that means. You know, when we talk about the 1976 swine flu, when the government deployed a defective vaccine which paralyzed hundreds of people, you guys know about. Not everyone knows about that, so I have to dumb it down for the people that, God bless them, our ignorant brothers and sisters. I don't know how else to say it, but anyway, so I'm here. I guess what I said earlier is I said no one's dying from the virus. I guess that's not technically true. I should have worded that more carefully. The point I was trying to make is that whatever they come out with this vaccine is certainly going to be more dangerous than whatever this coronavirus is going around. And thank you. Right. Yeah, I understood that intelligent people can understand this. So, I mean, and we know this because Dr. Peter Hotez, Dr. Paul Offit, I mean, everyone is sounding the alarm. I mean, people who have, Dr. Hotez, he was a $50 million grant recipient from Bill and Melinda Gates to work on the SARS coronavirus, and he's one of the chief people saying, hey, we really should slow this down and not cut any safety corners, because if we let the media drum us up to a lot of fear and hysteria, and if the clueless people trust their government, a lot of people are going to get hurt. So that's what we're trying to stop. That's what we're trying to, you know, just preserve everyone's basic human dignity. But I do have something to say about this media. And again, you know, because we did have the riots here, these looters who are intent on destroying and dismantling our institutions. And again, some of them, like I say, have to be destroyed. Any institution that fails to respect your basic human decency and dignity as a child of God needs to be destroyed. So it got me thinking about the Des Moines Register. And the Des Moines Register said I needed to be vaccinated against my own ignorance. That's what they said about me. And it's interesting because, again, I watch all these people wearing masks and, you know, shutting down society, closing down businesses, overturning their lives. And I have a study here from the Journal of Respiratory Medicine, excuse me, with 8 Asian collaborators. This was published, accepted, 12th of May. No evidence of asymptomatic transmission. No evidence. But anyone who dares to sit down and read a scientific publication and just say, hey, wait a minute, how does this conform with what the public health officials are telling us? So I post this on Twitter, and some wise guy goes, oh, Representative Shipley knows more than every single global health authority. Well, yeah, I do, because those guys are all bought by Bill Gates. And God bless you, or are you an idiot for not seeing that? And God have mercy on you for your ignorance, because your ignorance is putting us all at risk. Because if we don't hold these monsters accountable, they will experiment on this population. We know what happened in India in 2010 with an observational trial of the HPV vaccine, a vaccine that was already licensed in America. They wanted to gather evidence. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and all his billionaire cronies wanted to gather evidence to include the HPV vaccine on the recommended schedule for all of India. So they go to some rural provinces, they talk to some orphanages, and they gather, you know, 20,000 poor people over here, 15,000 poor people over here, and they test Gardasil and they test Cervix, and then they cancel the trial because 7 young girls ended up dead. And dozens more ended up paralyzed. But I need to be vaccinated against my ignorance because I want to stand up, because I know that each human is a beautiful creation of God. So I know that if a young girl in India dies, I have a responsibility to seek justice. I have a responsibility to make sure that she does not die in vain, and we're not going to let these these billionaire philanthropists, these medical dictators, these pharmaceutical fascists, we're not going to let them treat us like they're guinea pigs. If you're willing to do that, if you're willing to hurt the population, these poor rural Indian girls, how do I think you're going to be any different on me? What's the difference? You don't respect human life. That's why you injure these people and you make no effort to compensate or no effort to admit your role in these injuries. You denied it because your billion-dollar HPV vaccine market is more important than human life. That's why. It's good grief, people. And again, Bill Gates has said it, if you don't believe that humans have a soul, if you don't believe that, then it's very easy to justify 7 dead girls as medical research for the quote-unquote common good or whatever. So it's a different worldview. If you don't believe that humans are a sacred gift from God, that were created by infinite intelligence, by our Creator, that's how you can justify these crimes against humanity. And it is a crime against humanity because they know they caused the injury and they made no effort whatsoever to compensate the victims. I would be a lot more comfortable if Bill Gates was sprinkling millions of dollars on these paralyzed girls, right? I mean, that would at least be something to show that he's not a complete monster. I don't know. I'm like I said, I came up here because I'm angry because for whatever reason, I'm just a threat to public health when I express my opinion. So I know we need to commit to nonviolence, to peace, and thankfully this country has a great tradition, from Martin Luther King to Gandhi to the Quakers and the abolitionist movement. We know how, it's in our DNA, we know how to nonviolently stand up to injustice. And there'll be a time when we have to do that. So when it comes to dismantling and destroying some of these institutions, going back to Des Moines Register, I think one thing that we could do legislatively is we could prohibit the use of pharmaceutical advertising. That's what basically every other country in the world does. I think Sonia's been talking about this for a while. And then we'll see. And so we'll just say, hey, no pharmaceutical company can sell their pills. And if that just so happens to put the Des Moines Register out of business, well, I guess that's just something that we're going to have to grow with and learn to evolve with. So that's peaceful change. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to stand up. We know the truth. We know they're lying to us. Again, they hide behind this science, but as soon as you read the science, it contradicts everything they say. But thankfully, we are literate. Certainly the homeschoolers are. So we're going to keep reading. We're going to keep saying our prayers. And you know what? For me, when these guys come at me that I'm some sort of radical, I had to correct them. They said I'm an anti-vaxxer. That's politically incorrect. The correct term is vaccine safety advocate. So whatever, as long as I'm in this building, as long as it's in this chair, I'm going to do my best to tell the truth, to represent freedom. And these guys, they'll do what they'll do, but I spend most of my time picking ticks off Wiener Dog anyway, so. All right, well, I love you guys so much. I know there's so many other really wonderful people to celebrate freedom with us today. And I hope we have a chance to go into the Capitol. I want to see you all back tomorrow, because as soon as you guys turn your back, whew. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you.